Hi, I'm Becky with Fluency, and in today's video, I want to share with you 7 ways to create images for your Amazon PPC campaigns that will help boost your Amazon sales. So, really, when you think about it within advertising, what people see when they look at different ads on Amazon is actually very important to a lot of different things. If they'll even click on the ad, if it catches their eye, things like that. So it is really important to have a great image for your ads. Now, there are different ways that you can use images within Amazon ads. The one way, which is kind of the primary way, and that is just within your sponsored product ads, your main image is going to be the one that's showing to customers. So you really want to make sure that that image is great. And I'm going to share with you specific ways to do that. And then the other way is also lifestyle images, which are important for our sponsored brand ads. Let me share with you the first way to really kind of help with your image. Now, the first one almost might seem like a no-brainer, but it is make sure that you are showing the product in a way that you are focusing in on the image. Now, Amazon, for their first image, they do have requirements. You must have a pure white background and things like that, but you really want to make sure that you're using a high quality image. This is something where you do not want to be using old images of your product, especially if you've reformulated it and maybe you have changed the packaging. You want to make sure it's the most up to date, the highest quality. And keep in mind that your competitors' images, they're going to be showing side by side to yours. So I'm going to share a little bit later on that, but for that main image, you really want to make sure that the image is seen, it is clear, it is crisp, it has to be a pure white background. You want to make sure that it is just pristine and great. That is where you really should make sure that if you haven't already, that you're spending money on great images. So the second way is to make sure that you kind of have a clean background. This a little bit goes with the first one, but you're going to have to use for that first image a white background. That is kind of required. Even the lifestyle images though that you can use with the sponsored brand ads, you want to keep those uncluttered and you want to have those really focusing in on the product in use. So you don't want to just kind of have this oddly Photoshop thing for a lifestyle image in your sponsored brand ad. But a great thing is, for instance, if this is a product where they would take when they are in the kitchen and this is something that they might drink or they might put on their body or whatever, you want to make sure that there's not so much going on in an image that it confuses people, that it loses people. You want to keep your main product and that image really at focus, that product in the focus of that image. So you also want to make sure that it's not detracting from other features of it, but make sure you're really showing what should be. So it should be, if it is a bottle, you're going to want to make sure that people can see the bottle clearly, then that they can actually read everything as well. So that's another way that you can make sure that your images are really kind of helping with your sales. The third way is to, really make sure that you don't have, you want to use high quality images. So no blurry images, no low quality. People used to get away with this. Everything has become more competitive. And this is something that, like I said, if you've ever changed your packaging, make sure to update your main image to include the most recent. And a little pro tip here is, let's say you're transitioning away from having an old packaging to new packaging. You could also use that as one of your image blocks within your, when you click through to your listing, to let people know what the old packaging looks like and what they can expect, but some people might still receive versus your new packaging. But once again, those new images should be high quality, should be pristine, should be very readable where people can zoom in. And sometimes when you take enough angles, which I'll share about later, you can even have that 360 view on Amazon pop-up. The fourth tip is to make sure to use descriptive text. Now, this is something where the image should definitely capture people. It should be something that stands out. It should be something that doesn't discourage people from clicking. But then when they look at that image, the next thing that their eyes are going to is going to be your product title. So keep in mind that there's people that are shopping on their phones. There's people shopping on their Kindles or their iPads and their tablets and their desktops. So you want to make sure that the first, 50, 70 characters of your title is the most descriptive. It helps people to clearly understand what this product is, especially when you look at if you're lined up next to 3 other competitors, when you're looking at like a row on desktop, for instance. What is something that kind of distinguishes you that you could be putting in the title so that that would entice people to click over the other products that they see on that same row? And you'll just want to make sure that you're focusing on anything unique, any good selling points that you're going to dig into deeper. Like I said, things that kind of distinguish yours from the other 3 that might be showing up when someone's looking, right? So if they're kind of glancing quickly and everyone has great images as their primary image, the next place is really making sure, since their eyes are going to go down to the text, are you telling people what they need to know immediately that gives people an idea of, oh, this is why this one sounds unique, or this is why I need this one over the other, 2 or 3 that I'm seeing also showing up. So the 5th tip in ways that you can really improve your sales with your images for Amazon ads is to use the correct size and format. So this is something where if you've ever seen something that looks either really small or extremely large and it's almost abnormal looking, this is really where you want to make sure it's showing across, like I said, all different devices so that people, when they're on their phones versus their tablets versus their desktops, like, are they able to still see the product? Especially think about their phones, which more and more people are shopping that way. Can they actually, clearly see what your product is? Is it something where they're having trouble even seeing it? Typically, they're not going to even spend the time to try to zoom in and click through. They're just going to scroll on past it. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about it, that make sure you're using like the right format. A lot of times you can't even upload if you have the wrong format. Amazon prefers JPEG and like some other formats specifically, so you can't use just anything. But you'll want to make sure that it's something that is great, also that high quality for pixels so that it can be zoomed in when people do click into your listing. The 6th way to help boost your sales with images is to really make sure you're including multiple images. So this really goes into after people have clicked, they see that main image, they see kind of those things in your title that are capturing their attention to click on yours versus your competitors. Make sure then when they click in that they're not left disappointed, that they're not left wondering, what is this? And a great way to show it is images, because 90% of customers are looking through all the images. They're doing that even before they kind of read more in the bullets to learn more about the product, but they're going through quickly and they're kind of seeing initially in their brain, they're essentially saying, is this what I need or not? And if you don't have enough images, you could be missing out on sales, and you could be missing out on customers that just don't understand your product and what it has to offer over your competitors. So this is a great place to show it within your image sets. So different angles, especially if this is something that goes on or in the body, this is something that consumers care about. I personally, when I'm buying on Amazon, I always look at that. That's something that I care about when what I put in and on my body. And that's what other people are typically caring about too, especially if you think about people that have maybe sensitivities or allergies of some sort. They're going to want to make sure that it doesn't have this. Infographics are a great way to quickly help people to, in the images, say that, this is what, maybe this is non-GMO or whatever that makes it unique, that maybe that's something that, oh, okay, because it doesn't have this, I can take this or I can put this on my body or whatever. Like I said, especially if it's something that's topical consumable. So have it at different angles, almost have it to the more angles of images that you have. Like I said, you can trigger Amazon to then pop up on that 360 where people can almost turn it around and view it that way, which you'll notice more of the bigger e-commerce websites like Nike and other brands are doing that kind of thing where on their website, they're giving people a very immersive experience because they understand that online shopping is different, but they're making it so much better. So Amazon does this too. Like I said, sometimes it triggers that 360-degree view of your product, which can be super helpful. Like, especially if there's any kind of label for ingredients, that's important. But even just other things, if there's something that needs to be shown with a different angle, make sure to do that. You're also, like I said, wanting to make sure to infograph type or just any kind of quick way to see and show people this is what this doesn't have, or this is what it does have. This is why this one's unique and better than the other one that you could have clicked on. Also showing obviously the products in use are super helpful. And really you can take it up so much more than what's currently on Amazon, because there's still, when you look at listings, there's some really bad lifestyle images. It's really bad Photoshop type things that you can tell it doesn't give people a size reference. People want an accurate size reference. So that could be a great way to include a lifestyle image where people have an idea of the size of the product they're getting. And this can discourage negative product reviews from people or wrong expectations of your product before they get it in the mail. So multiple images that's a huge one, and one I'm a huge fan of, because like I said, you're helping that customer experience at that point, and you're really helping that sale to happen because the person can know quickly if the product's for them or not. And then the last way is to do A/B testing or split testing. And this is one that if you, inside your Seller Central account, your ASIN or your product might have eligibility for what's called experiments. And when you click into experiments, you notice there's different elements that you can be testing, and Amazon is always updating this program too. So there could be different ones and more in the future. But right now they do offer where you can actually test the product image. So that main image. And this is huge because now keep in mind, only test that and not your other ones that you can test that are offered, because you really want an accurate viewing of how does this impact your sales. So looking at your sales numbers after this experiment between the two, because Amazon's the one that's going to push, image A to some people and image B to the other one. So you're going to have your one image, high quality white background, and then a second one that's also high quality white background, but slightly different. This is where you can even kind of test out zooming, having a little bit more of the product and less white space, and a little bit of the opposite as well, kind of a little bit maybe more white space and then the product, but still able to be seen. So you could test out different things like that. Different angles as well is something. If it's something that has a multi-pack, you could kind of show like all the products versus just the one and see if that helps with sales and clicks. Sales is a huge metric for this, by the way. And the other one you're going to look at is your click-through rate, your CTR, because how does that impact people that are even clicking? Whether they're seeing the ad for the main image that's being shown, or organically, they're just finding your listing. Are they clicking on it? Are you actually getting the sessions and the traffic to that listing as a result of this? And what's really cool is you can set your timeline for that experiment. Typically a minimum, I think a good time frame is 6 to 8 weeks. You can do shorter as 4 if you kind of want to do a faster test, but you can go longer as well. 6 weeks is kind of like a really good kind of sweet spot if you don't want to go too long, but you don't want to go too short. And then you can see the results, and then you can use what works better, and that becomes your new control. So this is, something, like I said, overall, all these things might seem small and small tweaks, but these are really ways to just continue to take things up the next level that will really help you to stand out over your competitors. And also obviously offering a great product and great service around, when they do buy your product on Amazon, customer service around that, all those things are impacting it. But this is really that initial touch point of people that may never have bought from you. Those images can then actually help with your sales. So I hope that this is helpful, and I look forward to talking to you later. Have a great day. Bye. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to check out our website at clickfluency.com for more information, and follow us on all of our social media channels so that you can make sure you're getting the latest news in e-commerce.